Hi YouTube, Hunterian 1986 here. I've been in the woods early part of this evening doing a bit of walking and a bit of filming. And I'm going to do a VR for my very good friend Mr. Z Outdoors. I'm sure we've all heard of who Zed is and what his channel's about, because he is on the up at a rate of knots. To get 1,000 subscribers in just under 6 months is incredible, but it's well and truly deserved. And I speak, I'm privileged enough that I speak to Zed quite regularly. We've met in person twice, but we've had some good times, and although he's a West Ham fan, he's a good lad. He's a good lad, and I've got a lot of time for him. For Zed's VR for his 1,000 subscriber giveaway, he wants to see 3 life lessons. Not necessarily bushcraft lessons, but lessons that go with you on a daily basis and make us the people we are, make me the man I am. So it's probably going to be a little bit deep, this video. But yeah, I spent probably around 2 hours earlier, sat down, football was on in the background, and just tried to think about what makes me tick, and what lessons do I kind of strictly abide to on a daily basis. And after much deliberation and much thinking, I managed to get it down to 3. So, first one, work hard. It's something that we're taught from a young age. Work hard and you'll get the results. And I don't want this video to be too morbid, but with losing my granddad in the last 2 weeks, it's something that he was a master of. He worked incredibly hard. At a young age, he moved down from Scotland to Corby, the town that I live in now, to work in the steelworks. And believe me, the steelworks were a gruesome place to work, a gruesome place. Google it, have a little YouTube. It was terrible. It was really bad. Many men have died whilst at work in the steelworks, and the after effects of working in that environment. But that was what needed to be done in that day and age to make sure that your wife and children were fed and watered and clothed. And they worked hard. They worked 12-hour shifts in terrible environment. So always work hard. My father was in the army for 22 years, and we were fortunate enough to travel around the world and get to see some nice places, but he worked hard. I can't imagine, leaving my wife, and I don't have any children yet, but my children for 3-4 months at a time to do your job, to make sure you're providing and working hard and trying the best you always can. Now, when I was probably 15, 16, I wanted to join the army. My dad said, listen, if you want to join the army, it's fine. Just do me a favour, go and get some, qualifications or some grades or something to fall back on if it's not for you. So I did. I went and got qualifications, and kind of put me off. But I worked bloody hard to get them. I worked really hard. And then I became a lifeguard at 18 years old. The world was my oyster. Had a little car. Earning proper money for the first time, going out drinking, meeting some ladies and stuff, and that's kind of where I had a bit of a not a downturn, but I didn't work as hard as I should have. I had it easy. I was living at home with my parents. Everything was just cushy. Then I got into recruitment, and boy, oh boy, do you work hard in recruitment. It's a thankless task at times. Long hours, dealing with not a lower end of society, that's the wrong thing to say, but lower skill level, and a lot of immigrants, which isn't a bad thing, but there is a lot of barriers in there. There's a language barrier, there's a cultural barrier, and I had to learn hard, and I had to work really hard to try and put myself in their shoes. So, without babbling on too much, that's life lesson number 1 for me. Number 2 is stay positive. You have to stay positive when things get tough. Smile, blow out a kiss. Again, I don't want to be morbid, but the last few weeks have been really hard for myself and my wife, actually. and you've got to smile, you've got to think about the good things. You know, the glass is always half full, not half empty. You know, moving into a new house, I was worried about money. I'm quite sensible with money at times. My wife will say differently, but you know, there's more to life than money, there's more to life than personal possessions. And staying positive about things, we were really worried about money. And I was like, listen, do you know what? It'll be fine. It will be absolutely fine. What's the worst that can happen other than having our house repossessed? But you know, we're both in full-time jobs, we both work hard, and yeah, we don't have to worry about money. It's just going to take a little while to get used to. How that boils down into staying positive, you've got to. Every single day we're made with choices, and I don't think a day goes by where we won't make every single choice correctly. There'll always be a day where we might go, do you know what, I wish I'd done that, or I wish I'd tried that, or I should have done it that way. But you know, tomorrow is a new day, and you have to stay positive, and that's where we will learn as people to go, do you know what, didn't do it this way, but I've learnt my lesson, I'm going to stay positive, head up, and away we go. Rule 3, life lesson number 3, you got to give things a try. You got to try things once. It's something that I really, really strongly think about all the time. You've got to try these things. So whether it be a food, an experience, a country, a language, anything, you've got to try it. How do you know you don't like it, or you're not good at it, or you don't like it if you haven't tried it? So I will always give most things a bash. Most things. As I'm getting older, my tastes are changing, not just in food, but in life in general. And I'll always give things a bash. You know, I'm 27 years old, I'm 28 next month, and we're only on this planet once. So you've got to make the most of it. Grab the bull by the horns and run with it. And it's something that I'll say, and I said it a couple of weeks ago, I think. One of the things that I'd love to do is set up a food YouTube channel with food challenges. Do I like spicy food? No, I don't. Have I tasted the hottest chili in the world? Oh yeah. Did I regret it? No. Did it burn for hours and hours on the way in and the way out? Oh yeah. But I tried it, and it's cool. It's cool to try. At the Bushcroft show, trying those mealworm. What's the worst that can happen? There's a few things that I'd love to do. I'd love to do a bungee jump one time, and it'll be on the list. It'll be on that bucket list one time. I'll try it. I'd love to know another language. Languages were never my strong point at school, but now that I've got to the age where school's a distant memory, I want to give that a bash at some stage. I'd like to play guitar. All my friends play guitar. I'm the only one that can't. So I don't want to be Bez with the maracas forever. You know, I want to have a go. That's just a couple of things. That's just a couple of examples of things that I'm going to try, and I will get round to doing it sooner rather than later. Because as I'm getting older, our tastes, our lifestyle choices change, and yeah, we've got to try. I know Zed only wants 3. I'm going to chuck in it's not a jokey one, but one that I try and live by as well. And again, it was something that my granddad taught me from a young age, and this will stay with me for life and forever and a day. Always have polished shoes. Always have smart shoes on. Now, if you see me when I'm not in the woods, I'm normally wearing skinny jeans and a pair of Converse, and they're normally dirty. However, as soon as I put a nice pair of shoes on, I will not leave the house unless they're polished to within an inch of their life. That's just a small thing at the end. Something that YouTube, always have polished shoes. Okay. That's it, guys. I hope it hasn't got too deep for you. As I'm saying this to camera, sat in the woods, I feel quite chilled out, but I also feel it is a bit deep. Not in a bad way. It's nice to get to release and get things off your chest. And let's face it, whoever is going to do this VR, how many people have actually sat there and said what's important to them? It's nice to dig a bit deeper, and I think it's a fantastic topic for a VR. The guys that do this VR, we've all got a mutual interest in bushcraft and YouTube and prepping and survival, because that's why we're going to do the VR, but we all come from different walks of life, different cultures, different societies, and it's great to see what people will say is their life lessons, because there's no right or wrong answers, as Zed said. You know, I've spoke with Zed at length about some of his lifestyle choices and his life lessons in the past. This was long before this VR was ever even thought of, I imagine, but I learned, you know, we learn from speaking to people and hearing their point of view. So I will post a link to Zed's channel below. Please head along to his channel, let him know I've sent you, or just say hello to him. Take part in the VR, it's got nothing to lose. Again, boils down to rule 3, try it. I speak to a lot of guys on YouTube that go, oh, I'm not going to do a video, I'm not going to do a video. Try it. We've all started somewhere. My first few videos were absolutely rubbish when I look back at them now, but it's part of me. So that is the journey, and hopefully the videos get better every time. But I'd love to hear your thoughts, guys. Head along to Zed's channel. That's me, Hunterian 1986. Stay safe.